The following program is closed captioned for the thinking impaired.
By tomorrow, I will rule the world!
He's gone. He's never gone. That's the whole point. He's never gone.
Is this some radical new therapy?
You see?
Well, I must have not been paying attention when you were just
talking to me.
Facebook is very slow today. Very slow.
It's because you get in trouble.
I'm in fucking Facebook jail again.
Oh, God. Did you share it already?
I'm trying, but I'm trying to get Facebook to load. And then I've got this like PDF suite that keeps popping up, and I can't get rid of it.
We were just talking.
All right, so I got that shared. I've got that going anyway. Now Francisco Polino calling me while I'm live on the air.
Pick it up. I'll mute you. I'll mute you.
Okay, all right.
Everyone, Diana is not going to be here today. Unfortunately, she's not feeling too good. So on September 17th, I think, September 17th, she will be joining us instead. But welcome in, everyone. Please like and share. Tom is in a juicy conversation right now. He's muted, but watch him. I gotta hear this. Hold on.
You're killing me. I hope nobody heard any of that.
No, nobody did.
Ba, 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 ba. I don't know. Why do I do this?
It looks cool.
Yeah? All right.
I was going like this to the camera. You were talking.
So you had your nails done at Lucky Nails
I
today?
did get
and the
my
first
nails
thing
done.
they said to you was what? About me, right?
Oh, his grocery girl comes here. Ay.
Hilarious.
They think you're very funny.
Well, we'll give them a free shout out to Lucky Nails, Main Street, North Andover.
Yeah, Lucky Nails. They're sisters. And they don't speak Mandarin while you're there, which is awesome.
Okay.
Everyone.
Ba, 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 ba. Francisco Polino was on a tear. He's on a tear.
What does that mean?
He's pissed off.
At you?
Nope. Thank God. Listen, there's
What do
a
you
lot.
mean, thank God?
Listen, I don't care.
You scared of him?
Of him? No.
Yeah. Oh.
Well, yeah, actually, a little bit.
Why?
Just a little bit. There's one guy I just don't want mad at me.
Oh, you don't want him mad, but you can be scared.
No, I'm not really scared, but
I think it's the other way around.
well, it should be the other way around, quite frankly, given all the baloney that goes on around here. Mm-hmm. Wait for it. I feel like Radar and MASH. There it is. Shoe up.
Sounds like an organ, right?
I think so.
Sounds like it's probably an electrical.
It's like
electrical piano. The setting is like an organ. So, yeah. You know, the Methuen Music Hall has a nice organ.
You know, I've only been in there once, and it's so beautiful. It's such a beautiful place, and it's almost a shame that it never
gets utilized.
It doesn't really seem to get used that much.
People get married there. Some people,
you know. So, anyways, I get this thing on my screen no matter what I do. Hi, how you guys doing? My name's Tom Duggan here at the Paying Attention Podcast, right next door to Lucky Nails, downtown North Andover. Right? So now we don't have to talk about all the other businesses that hate us.
Yeah.
We just talk about the ones that love us.
Yeah, so they like you.
Right? So Lucky Nails, we want to get your nails done at North Andover. North Andover. Yep. And they're, you said they're Asian?
Yes.
Now, did they talk like Asian? They say,
no, they're very Americanized.
I reckon Tommy Duggan.
No, they're very Americanized.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, they're sisters.
Not there's anything wrong with that.
No, they're very hip and everything.
Okay.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. Yeah.
No kidding. We should deliver papers there all the time.
Oh, they have papers in there.
Oh, they do?
Yeah, which I was surprised.
Okay,
I think they
all right.
grabbed them from the yellow thing and put something in there.
Well, you know what? I bet you Christian, my driver that actually shows up when he's supposed to, I bet you he probably just hit a bunch of places that I always tell my drivers, like, if you're driving around delivering papers and you see a place that we're not in, go in and throw some in there and see if maybe they'll.
I think they grabbed them because last week I got my toes done and I told them about the paper and things like that. And they were like, oh, where can we find that? And I told them it was across the street. So they must have grabbed some.
So we were supposed to have Diana DeZoglio, our state auditor, here today. I'll have to fix that La Rose Blue. It's kind of cut off at the top. But we were supposed to have Diana DeZoglio on, and she texted me early this morning. Of course, I wasn't up. I don't get up till much later. And when I woke up, I saw her multiple texts and phone calls, phone messages, and I thought, yeah, this is kind of bullshit. Like the day of, what the hell is this? Oh, yeah, she doesn't feel good. I never feel good, and I'm still here. And then she called me on the phone, and there's no way you could fake that. She has lost her voice, like completely lost her voice.
Oh,
and she was struggling to talk on the phone. And then she was like, so listen, I'm really sorry. And I'm like, listen, stop talking. You're hurting your voice. I get it. Let's reschedule. And she said, she had to say
How
it
was she talking like this? No, it
was like a high squeaky. Yeah. It was like a high squeaky thing. And she said, well, let's see if we can get back on the 24th or the 27th of September. And so I called Andrew, who does her scheduling, and he couldn't do that. But she is going to come in September 14th, I believe.
Oh, I thought it was 17th.
Hold on. Let me just double check. Dios mío. Dios mío.
17th.
17th. Right.
Yeah, the week of the 14th, but it's on the 17th. Thursday.
And do we have anybody on the? We'll get to our sponsors in a minute. On a little on-air production. Shit. So I do have a guest next week.
Okay. Hi, María se fue.
María se fue. María se fue.
Y María
se fue. María se fue.
Sí, señor.
Dios mío. Okay, so next week is the 3rd anniversary of my death. I don't know how many people can say that. But I died twice.
On the 27th?
It was the 28th. It was Monday the 20th of August, 2023. And so I really wanted next week to spend a little time talking about being grateful for being here.
Yeah.
And some of the really incredible people that I've met since that happened, because had I not come back, I would never have met you. I never would have met Maria Safue. I never would have met Kristen Maxwell.
Alejandro.
And, I don't know. Jury's out on Alejandro these days. I don't know.
I forgot his last name.
He said something to me on the phone, not to divert, but he said something to me on the phone that I think he thought he was saying something that would smooth things over, and it just made it worse because I've been thinking about it ever since. He said, Tom, I want to have a relationship with you like you and Pavel. And what I think he was trying to say was, you and Pavel don't agree on a lot of things, but you stay friends and you're cordial to each other.
Or maybe he looks up to Pavel.
Right, and maybe, right? But after having the phone up, I thought, so in other words, you're going to go that far to the fucking left, that you're going to be like for abortion on demand up till 3rd grade.
Is he a Democrat?
And he's a big Democrat.
Oh, yeah.
So
you answer your own question.
So, and then I'm seeing some of the things that he's doing on the I don't know. I think we might have created a monster. I think the only thing that I think that there's still hope for him is because we forget he's only 19, right? Yeah. So he's like a kid, right? So I'm hoping that maybe some of the things that I'm saying to him long after I'm gone will be in the back of his head. Hopefully, when he's like a congressman or a senator and he's voting for things like abortion up until birth.
What young
and making excuses for it like Pavel Payano is.
What young man in this area, in this community, whether Dominican or Puerto Rican, which is, I think, they're all Dominican, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah, they're all Dominican. Is not a Republican. Like that are sitting on a chair right now that they have a position who is like.
Yeah, I don't think we have any Republicans at all because you can't win as a Republican in Massachusetts.
I want Luis Robles to sit somewhere.
Yeah, he'd be great.
He'll be great.
But you can't win as a Republican.
Young guy in this area that can.
We almost had him on the school committee, and you know who ruined it for us?
Quinn Cannell.
The midget backed Quinn Cannell over Luis Robles, and he called me.
Why do you think he did it?
Because he hates Ralph, and Quinn is a Ralph hater, and Luis is not a Ralph hater, so He went for Quinn, and
Quinn is very handsome.
And I like Quinn a lot, but I already had my candidates when
Quinn
he jumped in.
Quinn is very handsome.
So. Yeah, he's a good-looking kid.
He's very handsome.
Very tall.
Yeah.
I know women like that. All right, let's get to our sponsors, I guess.
Oh, we haven't done sponsors yet? Yeah, well, as people are listening.
She's gushing over here. You should see her.
He is very good looking. I saw him in person the other day.
Oh, my God.
Goodness. Wow.
Calm down now. If you say I'm a dog,
No, I'm gonna get no enemies for that, for saying that. You know that, right?
that's all right.
From other women.
Listen, you can do much worse in life than pissing off stupid liberal women, right? If you're pissing off stupid liberal women on a regular basis, you're doing okay.
There's other sitting members who like him, but I'm not.
Yeah, but they're all
like
liberal.
That.
They're all liberal.
Yeah. I'm not interested like that. I'm just saying.
They're all left-wing lunatics.
Can a woman say a guy looks good? Can I?
Yeah, of course
Thank
you can.
you. All right, go ahead, Tom. Sorry.
All right, let's talk about our sponsors. Ted Semesny for state senate. Ted Semesny is running against Barry Feingold.
$600,000.
I don't know how anybody beats Barry Feingold with
$600,000
$43 million in his freaking account, but
43. I thought it was 600,000.
600 million. 700 million. It might as well be, right? It
Lawrence
might as well. You know, Neil Perry came on my show one day and he goes, "You know what I don't like about you?" Like, this is at the point where he had to start virtue signaling because he was getting shit for coming on my show. "You know what I don't like about you? You tend to exaggerate a lot." Right. But it's an obvious exaggeration for a fact.
Okay.
Right? It's called fucking entertainment. Like, hello, if I sat on a school committee with a guy named Dr. Jim Sweeney, the nicest guy in the world. But I remember sitting in a school board meeting one day saying, "Listen, I've said this 1,000,000 times." And he goes, point of order, point of personal privilege. And in the middle of my sentence. And the mayor goes, "Yes, Dr. Sweeney." He goes, "Mr. Duggan, 1,000,000 times? You know how many 1,000,000 times is?" And I'm like,
serious?
if you have to be that friggin' literal. All right, anyways.
It's your high school math. That's why.
Yes, exactly. Right.
There you go. Lawrence High.
La Rose Blue, a new sponsor here. They're a dentist on Pelham Street in Methuen. They donated $2,000 to our scholarships this year, so we're very happy to have her on board as a new sponsor. She donated $2,000 to our Whittier Tech scholarship winner Yesenia Alvarez, yes,
Alvarado,
very good.
like
Alvarado, right? Mm-hmm. Alvarado. Yesenia Alvarado, $2,000 because that young lady is going into dentistry in college, and they even offered her a internship when she graduates. So, thank you for La Rose Blue for coming in and advertising with us. Century 21 McLennan Real Estate, Brando's Cutlets over there. Didn't see Billy from Brando's at TMF last night. I don't know what's going on with him over there. Brando's Cutlets in North Andover and Haverhill. Town Roofing, this is a good time. The Moxon and Son Construction and Town Roofing. If you have any kind of repairs that you want done, any kind of renovations you want done on your house, now's the time to do it. You want to build a new shed in the back. You need to have your roof fixed. Town Roofing or Marston and Son Construction are the way to go. Chachi's Junk Removal. Ken Willett, another new sponsor. Ken Willett for state representative. He's running as a write-in on the Republican ballot
16th
for the
Texas.
Is it 16th?
Yes.
I thought it was 14th. But
No, it's 4th. Sorry, 16th is Francisco's.
Oh, 4th, right.
Yeah, 4th
Texas.
Texas.
Right, because that's the one that they created. They created that.
Yeah, that's the one that
they
created.
gerrymandered that for a Latino. That was the racist district that they created. Boston Medical Center, Cedarview Homes, the Zanny Pesh law office over there. I was honored enough to be asked to be on The Buzz, which is the podcast / TV show with Nick DiZoglio, the school committee member from Methuen, and the sexiest woman alive, Jana Zanny Pesci. And just because I knew all of the stuffy, stuck-up, liberal Shabilias of the world, the Heather Plunketts of the world, are going to be watching, and they're going to be gnashing their teeth because I was on their show, and they're giving me legitimacy.
Live?
No, they taped it, and then they played it.
They're going to edit some of it.
Right? No, it's already showed. So, but just because I knew that the haters were going to be watching in Methuen, I made sure to mention at least twice that Jana Zanny Pesci is the sexiest woman alive, because I knew it would just send them into a tizzy. And you could actually, if you quiet during that, you could actually, when I say it, you can hear the screams in the background all the way over from Pelham Street.
Nick DiZoglio. Hi, Nick. You running for mayor?
Nick, you know what? He could have beat DJ the last time around. He really could have. He could have beat DJ last time around. Now I don't know. DJ's getting smarter, and he's doing more, and he's pissing people off less. So I don't know. On the go notary, Marston and Son Construction, EIS. Investigation and gun training. I think in the next week or two, we're going to be talking about an issue with that. Tomo and Shaken Seafood, Veteran Pathways, formerly Clear Path for Veterans New England. AFC Urgent Care, Pleasant Valley Landscaping Contractors, with the intern girl came with her hair up. I can't remember the last time she came in here with her friggin' hair
It's hot
down.
outside.
Oh,
You need to understand me.
boo-hoo.
Hi, David.
Boo-hoo. Prime Insurance, the Doug Mercurio Law Office. Doug just got back from, I think he was in Switzerland, Sweden, Germany, Austria,
I don't
maybe?
know, Netherlands.
He was all over the place over there.
He had fun, but he had his
And
Valley Patriot.
He did. He brought his Valley Patriot with him, and he's like,
Love it.
he's reading it in front of like historical landmarks. And what I really love about this feature, and I said it last time, Valley Patriot around the world. People take their Valley Patriot with them when they go on vacation, and they take a picture of them reading it or holding it up in front of like the Great Wall of China or the Eiffel
Mount
Tower,
Everest.
right?
Mount Everest.
And then when they're done, they leave them around
Machu
for
Picchu.
locals to like read it. So the Valley Patriot is really being read around the world.
And the best part is free promo.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially if you're a Democrat running for something or Republican running for something.
Yep.
Take a paper with you.
Yep. And a free shout out to Paul Lambert at Lambert and Rendon and JG's Ice Cream. All right, so we've got a bunch of things to get to.
Oh, yeah. Before we go, can I just say hi to a few people here? We have Nick Andrade, who's having a baby. Congratulations.
Oh, Nick, congratulations.
Jack Roy is here. Andrea Watson. Maria Figueroa, of course.
Maria, se fue. Maria, se fue. Maria, se fue.
Hey, Maria. And then we have
Maria se fue.
Chris Domain and Eileen McCarthy and Glenys Suero. Welcome in. Please like and share, everyone. Go ahead, Tom.
All right, so real quick, the Movement family had their Frank H. Can basketball tournament, third annual this year, this past Saturday. I was on your podcast. I was on your show, so I couldn't be there because I was on your show talking about Brian on, what is the name of it?
El Poder del Sábado, todos los sábados por la Mega 95.1, de 11 de la mañana a la 1 de la tarde en español.
Will you marry me?
No,
Can you say it again, though?
no.
No.
Tom, you're like my dad. Stop.
It's just so cute the way you say it. You're like my dad. Yeah, you're like my grandfather.
Yep.
Yep. All right, thanks. Yep.
Lucy's here. Hi, Lucy. She said Tom.
Yeah. I gave her, by the way, I gave her a lead. She's got Ralph Carrero's coming on La Despierta Lawrence on Saturday morning.
Don't be soft on him. Come on.
And I gave her, I was going to hold it. I've had this for like a week, that the state has issued a, I don't want to use the wrong word because then they'll say that's not exactly that, so we must be lying. But the state has decided that they are not going to extend Ralph Carrero's contract as superintendent, and they are going to be asking the Lawrence School Committee to choose the next superintendent, which means Lawrence is going to regain control of their school system. Now, the school committee could pick Ralph Carrero. I don't think they will. I don't think they like him. But if they decided that they want to keep Ralph Carrero as the superintendent, they could do that.
I always hear these
but
things.
his contract will not be renewed with the state.
I always hear these things about Ralph Carrero not being liked, but nobody ever tells me what is it that he does that people don't like him.
Yeah.
From what I understand, working for him for 2-3 years or so, he is a great superintendent. He's a great leader. He really focuses on what the child needs to be able to do better academically. I think they don't like him because of politics. It has nothing to do with his job as a superintendent. He does a great job, and I'm always going to back up Ralph Carrero.
It's because he doesn't check the boxes for DEI and transgender mutilation
He's
surgeries.
focused on the education.
Right.
That's what he's focused on.
He doesn't want, white supremacy and white privilege and all that other shit in the schools.
You know what something he does? He makes sure you have your degrees to be able to have a job. He makes sure that you have your license. He doesn't play with that. He is very he's very pro-education.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's just politics. That's all.
Yeah, and listen, people know that Ralph and I have not had a good history, right? I'm not a fan at all. Like, Ralph and I have had a very storied history, going all the way back to 1996 when I sat on the school committee with him. And I would get a packet this thick. Right now you get it on a disc or you get it by email. But I would get a packet this thick with all the things we're going to vote on for the next week's meeting. So we'd have our meetings on Thursday. The Thursday before I'd get my packet. I would spend an entire week going through the packet, circling things, highlighting things, putting question marks, calling people and finding out what they mean. Ralph would come into the meeting, the night of the meeting, with his packet, and he would crack you could hear the binding cracking, opening it for the first time, and he'd turn to me and go, "Hey, Tom, anything good on the agenda tonight? You're going to vote on millions of freaking dollars for the Lawrence Public Schools, and you haven't even looked at your packet?"
No.
Holy crap.
Tom, no. That was in 1996, coño.
Right.
Coñazo. That was in 1996.
Dios mío,
you cannot blame somebody's character based on their past. You can't. Not when it comes to that.
That's not what I'm doing.
It is a little bit.
That's not what I'm doing.
It is a little bit.
This is who he is. He's very unprepared.
He's very professional, and he has a lot of years of experience under his belt.
I'm not taking that away from him. I'm not taking that away from him. I'm not taking any of that away from him. I'm just saying, when it came time, when Tom Duggan had a scandal, Ralph Carrero calls me on the phone and says, "Tom, I know they're pressuring you to resign. Don't resign. Whatever you do, you got to hang in there. Don't resign." And then the next day, it's Ralph on the front page of the fucking Eagle Tribune calling for my resignation. He called me on the phone to tell me not to resign, because if I resigned, his name wouldn't be on the front page of the paper the next day. My resignation would be on. He wanted to get his shot in before I resigned.
You know one thing I appreciate?
And I've never forgotten that.
You know one thing I appreciate about Ralph? The first thing he did, one of the first things he did when he went to Lawrence Public Schools, what is the number one issue in every Lawrence Public Schools? I worked there 2 years for the Oliver School,
Discipline.
Right? No, not only discipline, the nurses. The nurses are narcissistic, and not all of them, but the majority, and I know I'll probably get in trouble for this, but they are very hard to manage most of the time. Like the principals and the nurses kind of bump heads a little bit. The first thing he did, he made sure to do a rotation of the nurses, because that's one thing that, can get in the way. It really can. It can be an inconvenience for a principal who's just starting, a new role that 1 year or that's so. But I really like that he did that.
And then he voted to fire Jim Scully, even though he approved everything Jim Scully spent the money on. So we have a storied history. And I'm not saying this because I'm blaming him today for what he did in the past. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to walk people down the road of, I'm saying that Ralph is being picked on because of his politics. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying that because I like the guy. And people always want to accuse you. You're only saying this because. So I always try to inoculate myself by saying, that's not the case, and here's why that's not the case. Ralph is being picked on. Ralph is being attacked from the inside because he's not a liberal lunatic. Mm-mm. And they want someone who's a liberal. They want, if they had,
why?
If the left wingers had their way, they would be performing transgender surgery in the schools.
Why?
Like in the classroom in front of all the kids.
But why?
Because they're psychotic.
Is that what they want for our kids?
Yes, they do.
What about math?
Exactly.
What about science? What about
math does not matter.
What about getting into a secondary high school that is better, that is, private prep? What about going to a better college?
They don't care.
They don't care about that.
They don't
because
care.
They want us to stay the same. This is segregated, what is it? Segregated racism?
They don't want kids.
Systematic racism. That's what it is.
100%.
The liberals fight against it, but they actually applying it.
Well,
because if they want our schools to have somebody who's liberal and wants to push this agenda on our kids, is that really what they want? So our kids can stay behind? What about the fucking sciences? What about science? What about math? What about English?
84% of kids graduating from Lawrence High School can't read. Period. And you know what they focus on? Abortion, gay marriage, transgenders,
immigration.
Donald Trump's a Nazi. So they know all about all the social issues of the day, and they can debate you as a grown up. They can debate me, adequately debate me, and do a good job. Action. So that it's not like the teachers can't teach kids how to do math. It's not like they can't teach them how to do English, because they teach the other stuff really good. It's that they refuse, because from the top down, well, except for Ralph, from the top down, from the school committee all the way down, they're all a bunch of left-wing lunatics who want to push all the here's what they want. They want the kids to be just smart enough to be liberal activists, but not too smart to become financially successful and realize how many taxes are coming out of their paycheck to become a Republican. That's what they want. They want them right there in the middle.
And they can read, but they're not reading at grade level, meaning they don't comprehend what they're reading, meaning they don't know how to read certain words. They probably don't understand some of the words that are there too. So, all right, what's next? Are we going in?
So anyway, we started with TMF. So TMF had their Frank H. Can. And I want to thank all the different teams. I think he had 48 teams that played, and I think they raised last year about $8,000 to $10,000 for the homeless.
Wow!
Yeah, this is a huge thing, and
I didn't know about this.
I couldn't believe that I couldn't get 8 people for one team to play basketball.
Why didn't Mike tell me this?
Mike Gorman got 48 teams together, and they did a bracket, and all day, like they played on 2 different courts, And they all day, and they just kept eliminating.
What is it, 3v3?
What's that?
3 versus 3?
No, they had full teams. No, they had full teams. Like these were real teams. So shout out to Mike Gorman, and also what's the matter?
Thomas Spitaleri, whatever. How do you say that last name?
He's a left-wing lunatic.
He says systematic racism is a Trump creation. It's actually systematic segregation.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, he's got Trump derangement syndrome.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Hitler only came to power because of Donald Trump, according to this clown. Right? Damn that Jim Crow. So Francisco Polino, speaking of Francisco Polino, showed up last night, and I'm going to post the pictures. I apologize for not posting them last night, but he showed up at TMF last night. No cameras, no press releases. He donates food to the homeless every Saturday morning for when Mike Gorman and TMF goes out and does breakfast with the homeless. Yeah. They go to Heavenly Donuts, and he has breakfast and coffee.
Oh, that's
that he
nice.
donates, and he doesn't publicize it. He doesn't go on Facebook and say, "Look what he's doing." A Debo, look what I'm doing. Hey, do a selfie.
With the crabs.
He just does it.
Lobster, I mean.
And so say what you want about Francisco Polino. He and I, we don't gel on a lot of things, but.
Same.
He's always there to help the homeless. He never brags about it. So last night he showed up before everybody else. He was one of the first people there because I got a call and they said, your buddy Francisco's kind of wandering around looking for something to do. Maybe he's looking for you. So he called me before I had a chance to call him, and he said, hey, I'm just dropping off some food. I thought you'd be here early. I can't stay. And I said, do me a favor. Stay there for like 5 minutes. I'm going to call Chris DeMaine and have him take a picture of you, like delivering the food. And he said, no. And he hung up. So I called Chris DeMaine and said, I don't give a fuck what he says. Get a photo of him, like loading food or something, because this is a guy, like him or not, this is a guy that helps the homeless, and he does it for the right reason, and he does it when it's not an election year, and he does it when there's no cameras around, and I don't care who you are.
He voted for them, right? I mean, he did. He went and gave a speech.
He absolutely did.
Support off.
Yep. When Vivian Marmo kind of didn't. All right. So what do we have here? We have a huge show about Brian. So let's just get to. I have trash, but I don't know why I have trash. I think that's from
Methuen
last
trash.
week. Yeah, there's an update on that. I just don't remember what it is.
Yeah, there was an update.
All right. So let's just get to
the story.
Let's get to the story. So here we are.
Please share.
Last week at this time, we had no idea that 24 hours later.
And it was live, too. It was available in the systems.
Right?
Damn.
We had no idea that 24 hours, and I was so mad at him last week. I almost came in here, and I almost spent a half an hour just ripping on Brian because I'm so mad.
And I asked you not to.
And you asked me not, and rightfully so. When I'm mad on a personal level, and it's not like outrage over a bill that's something like the abortion bill or something, but like when I'm mad on a personal level, when it's personal, it's always good to have someone like you rein me in, because it shouldn't be personal. And so I held my temper last week, and I didn't enjoy it even a little bit. But I held it, and then less than 24 hours, 12 hours later, the FBI is raiding and the IRS is raiding Brian DePena's home in South Lawrence.
6 a.m, yeah.
Took him into custody and arrested him on 2 charges. Let me see if I can pull that up real quick. So today is going to be somewhat of a little tutorial, okay? So we're going to go through everything because there's a lot of shit out there. There's a lot of baloney about what is and what is not. Hold on. I want to pull up. I just want to make sure I have the charging. So we were the first one to break the story, believe it or not.
I'm surprised you picked up the phone that early. Did you know something was happening?
No, but I know if you're calling me at 7 o'clock in the morning, it's got to be good.
Yeah.
And so I have on my phone, I have Do Not Disturb on, but I have certain people can get through. You can get through. Nancy can get through. My mom can get through, and that's pretty much it. So here's what he was charged with. Okay. No. You can stay at the headline if you want. So I'm reading from the charging documents. Brian DePena was charged with wire fraud, aiding and abetting. Unlawful monetary transactions, aiding and abetting. And then the third charge was added afterwards, money laundering, aiding and abetting. And nobody in Boston, now this has been almost a week, nobody in Boston All the geniuses in the Boston media, Channel 4, Channel 5.
No, the genius is in Lawrence.
Howie Carr, all these guys that jump on a bandwagon and they just churn things out. They regurgitate what they've been told, and none of them have a friggin' ounce of critical thinking skills, even a little bit. I watched Fox 25. I watched WGBH, believe it or not.
By the way, your office, you have like 2 TVs running at all times.
At all times, yes.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
Sometimes 3.
Yeah,
because I have a picture-in-picture in 2 of them, right? And I'm watching, and I'm looking at this charging document: wire fraud, aiding and abetting, unlawful monetary transactions, aiding and abetting, money laundering, aiding and abetting. And I'm watching, and I'm waiting for them to say the obvious. Like, if you have a brain cell in your head, how do you not then ask the next question? Aiding and abetting who? Aiding and abetting. So Brian is not the principal person being charged here. Brian is not the main person that they are looking at. The main person they are looking at is someone else. Now, we all know behind the... No, we don't know behind the scenes?
Nobody knows.
No, okay, all right. We don't know then. We don't know who it is. But... she just climbed under the desk.
I almost got diarrhea.
But nobody, even Howie Carr, he's a pretty bright guy, but even Howie Carr went through this whole
he's
thing.
He's too mainstream now.
And yeah, you're right. Like, they all just jump on a bandwagon.
No, you know what he did? He posted a video of Brian talking in English, like making fun of him. Like, he's just,
stupid. It's just stupid. It's just dumb. It's mindless, and it doesn't. What we're going to do today is we're going to educate you, right? We're going to inform you that maybe you didn't know some of this stuff. That's my goal. The other people, their goal is just to entertain. It's just to mock. It's just to make fun of people and make it entertaining and get clicks. And yes, I think entertainment is certainly part of what I do, here on this show. But education's my number one, or informing. Maybe that's the wrong. Clarifying maybe is a better word. That's what Claude says. Clarifying what is going on in the news, right? So it's wire fraud, aiding and abetting, unlawful monetary transactions, aiding and abetting, and money laundering, aiding and abetting. And now the next question is aiding and abetting who, and or whom's, right? It could be more than one person. Okay. Our information is we know who the. That's not true. We don't know who the principal is.
Not 100%.
But we know who 2 of the other aiding and abettings are.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't have grabbed Brian last Friday, except that he had a one-way ticket to the Dominican Republic to his son or his daughter's wedding that was supposed to get married. And I think they freaked out when they saw a one-way ticket. And sometimes people go on one-way ticket because they don't know when they're coming back. Maybe they're going to spend a week. Maybe they're enjoying themselves. They say 2 weeks, so they don't want to book their return trip. So it doesn't necessarily mean he was fleeing, right? But because he had the one-way ticket, I think they panicked and they jumped the gun.
I don't know why, because Dominican Republic works well with.
Yeah, we have an extradition treaty with the DR. But who knows? You can go to the DR and then from there go to a country like Aruba where you don't have an extradition treaty. So maybe that's what they were worried about, him island hopping and then getting to a place where, which is kind of silly, but okay, whatever. So the other thing I want to say too is before we go forward, and please, people, stop impugning my motives. He's defending him. He's not I'm not defending and I'm not condemning. I'm just telling you what is, okay? And from my perspective, the cops went to his house. They battering rammed his door.
Broke it.
They broke his door down. They ransacked his house and they dragged him out in cuffs, like he was a fucking serial killer. And there's nothing right about that. There are other people who are high-profiled individuals who get under indictment or there's an arrest warrant for them, and they go to the lawyer's office and they present the warrant to the lawyer and say, call your client and have him come down here. We're going to arrest him, take him out the back door, we're going to bring him into Boston and process him. So the fact that they did it the way that they did it means that they were making a statement. They were making a statement, and I think that they did it the wrong way, because there are other people who were involved in what we're going to talk about, the charges. There are other people involved, and all you did was telegraph to them that they should leave the country now.
Why do you think they did it that way?
I
to send a message?
I don't know. Listen, I grew up in a cop household, and sometimes these guys just get so excited at the prospect of getting someone who's high profile that their thinking kind of goes out the window and they just go overboard. And I'm hoping that that's the case.
They use what is it called? The microphones, the loudspeaker or whatever. That's what they used to call him to come out of the house.
Yeah, and I guess he didn't come out fast enough for them, so they battering rammed his door. And there's nothing right about that. Like,
why can't you just go knock on the door?
How about he goes?
Sense.
He's going into City Hall at like 9 o'clock in the morning. How about just wait outside City Hall and just grab him on his way in? You're not battering any doors in. You're not disturbing the neighborhood. It's a quiet neighborhood. My mother lives up there. My mother lives a block away from Brian. Anyways, so they break down his door. They take him into custody. We break the story. I had the charging documents and the affidavit long before anybody else did. And it's so funny how people came on my page halfway through the day, hours after we broke this, hours, like 7, 8 hours, going, oh, we don't hear anything from Duggan. No, oh, you're protecting your buddy? And I'm like, are you people fucking morons? Like, you had to scroll by the 4 stories that I wrote to post this, that I'm somehow like
a lot of people celebrating that day.
Well, it's
a lot of fake pages going on my page saying I probably got some benefits. I get nothing. A lot of just really like hurt people because their candidate didn't win and they really thought he was going to win. And
sour grapes. It's all sour grapes.
Yeah.
And let me say one more thing before we get into the charges. So I had a number of people who like to come on my page and try and torture me. They think that they're torturing me. They come on my page, they think that they're going to get this little jab in, and they think that they've got something on you. And so my friend Roberto came on my page, and he is a good guy, but he's definitely on the wrong side of this. Came on my page and he said, see, Jalissa Nunez was right about this guy all along.
You owe her an apology.
Let's review. Jalissa Nunez, and let's add also Sarah Perez and Altagracia Maggi and Wendy Luzon. They all every day said Brian DePena is stealing money from the coffee machine. Brian DePena is stealing money from the LRA. He's stealing money from the city. He's stealing money from the state. He's going to jail. They're giving properties away from the LRA. Every day it's a different accusation. Eventually, if you accuse somebody of 100 different things every day, eventually you're going to be right. But these 4 clowns still didn't have it right. Never once, by the way, never once did Jalissa Nunez, Sarah Perez, Wendy Luzon, or Altagracia Maggi ever say, that he was stealing COVID money.
Why? Why?
What a great question. Because they were involved in COVID scams as well. At least some of them were. And I know that nobody wants to say it out loud.
I'm leaving.
I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. All right? Listen, you're going to go out there and you're going to celebrate.
They weren't celebrating on Friday.
No, there was a little bit of a lull. They had to pull.
They had to get people to like hype them up.
Right. But again, you want to come on my page and say, Jalissa Nunez had it right about this guy all along. They never once accused him of stealing COVID money. So they've made 100 other accusations, all of which are false, have not been vindicated by anyone. And the one thing that he is at least being charged with is something they never charged him with. It's something they never accused him of. So how were they right? They were literally not right. They're still literally not right.
If they knew that, they would have said something. They would have made it public.
Except that Altagracia Maggi, I think, didn't she use COVID money for? Didn't she build a studio or something like that? I think she did something with that COVID money. I'm not exactly sure. We're going to look into that for sure, I think. Yeah. All right. So let's go through the charges. Brian was arraigned. You said, or somebody said, that he didn't post bail. And
I did.
I have a hard time believing that he didn't post bail. But you're right. When I tried to find...
He left. He didn't have to plea. Guilty, not guilty, and he didn't have to pay bail. But
okay, well, so released on his own recognizance, but you still have to plead guilty or not guilty.
He didn't, not yet.
Really?
So the lawyer.
Well, then it's not an actual charge.
Have you looked up the lawyer?
Oh, he's a nightmare. But
not on paper. Not on paper. He has a good rating as an attorney, and he's very strategic.
He was only the lawyer for this hearing, though. He's not Brian's lawyer.
He's not going
no,
to be?
he was only for this.
He's a good
Because,
one.
when you get arrested, you don't have a lawyer on standby, right? He needed a lawyer, and I don't know if he reached out to this guy. This guy reached out to him.
This guy, that's what he does for work. White collar crime.
And listen, I have no beef with the guy. I know he's had some issues in the past, but again, that's media hype. You don't know how much of that is real, right? So apparently he was accused of yelling and screaming in a courtroom, okay, so what?
He did a mistrial for one of his clients.
Yeah, so okay, but again,
he said
so
he's
what?
running for president
of Peru. Yeah, okay. Well, again, so what? Right? All these things.
But it's a strategy so they can focus on him.
It reminds me of the Skittles. Remember when Trayvon Martin was killed by remember the Trayvon Martin case, and he was carrying Skittles. They had to mention every story that he went to the store for Skittles.
The kid that was killed by the cop, right?
Yeah, the guy who was pretending to be a cop. Right? What was his name? It was Trayvon Martin.
With a Z? It started with a Z, his last name or something like that?
That's terrible. Just don't get old.
Yeah,
don't get old.
I'm old already.
Or how about the illegal alien who was arrested while his daughter was in bluey pajamas? And every story had to mention the bluey pajamas, to frame that this poor innocent victim.
Yeah.
And so the media likes to seize on, and they do it on purpose. It's not a mistake. They do it on purpose to seize on these little insignificant details to make something seem like it's not. Anyways, so let's get to the charging documents. Let's bounce down there, intern girl.
All right, let me go.
Down? What the charges and charging documents say. So this is a story that I put together. Keep going. Okay, right there. So after we posted the I don't know if it was a 32-page affidavit from the IRS, the undercover IRS agent that is the one who inspired the warrant for his arrest. I went through it in painstaking detail, and I wanted to make sure that the average person, and again, he's only being accused of this, but I want to make sure the average person understands exactly what he's being accused of, because within minutes, you had people on Facebook saying he was stealing city money, that he was using money, he was funneling money from Lawrence to the DR to his properties, all kinds of baloney, all kinds of bullshit. And when something like this happens, in the heat of it, when emotions are high, people like to muddy the waters with information that's not real, hoping that when the waters clear up, that some of those facts are still kind of floating around and people think that it's still real. So let's talk about what it does not say, Wendy Luzon, what it does not say, Julissa Nunez, what it does not say, Altagracia Mahi, and what it does not say, Sara Perez. It does not say, the affidavit states that DePena appears to have used the majority of the original 149,900 EIDL distribution as working capital for Tenaris Tires as required by law. So the first loan that he got for $149,900 was used legally. He did it right the first time around. The first round of loans are EIDL payments he used right. The allegations of misuse focus principally on money received throughout the two subsequent loan increases. Nowhere in the charging documents does the federal law enforcement allege misuse of city funds, LRA properties, or city properties or services. Contrary to what a lot of people were saying on social media, and a lot of people were spreading on Spanish language radio in the wake of this when it was first brand new, people were running around making all kinds of claims that were just patently false. Now, I'm not saying that that's not going to turn out to be true later on. Maybe we're going to find out later on that
there's more information
that there is, because there are going to be more indictments. There are going to be more indictments against Brian. There's going to be more charges coming for sure, and there are going to be other people who are going to be indicted or arrested and charged for sure. And we know that because he's being charged with aiding and abetting, and you can't charge a co-conspirator without charging the conspirator, right? So, what do the charging documents actually say? Federal investigators allege that DePena obtained approximately $1.654 million in EIDL funds for Tenaris Tires and then used large portions for the purpose of purposes prohibited by the loan terms. And here's what he used it for. According to the documents, approximately $132,113 for his mayoral campaign. Full stop right there.
Personal gain.
You can stop right there and not read anything more, and you know that if any of that is true, if $1 of the EIDL money went to his campaign, he's going to jail. And it doesn't matter who he turns on. It doesn't matter who he testifies against. There will be no deal that doesn't include some kind of jail time for taking federal dollars and using it for your political campaign. Now, money is fungible. And let me just say this. And again, I want to inoculate myself. I'm not defending him. I'm just explaining. Money is fungible. What does that mean? Let me give you an example that's not tied to this, so maybe you can understand it a little bit better. When Barack Obama gave upwards of, I'll make up a number, $6 billion in cash to the Iranians. Mm-hmm. And they said, well, this is money we're giving to the Iranians because it was their money that was seized, it was on hold, and we're giving it back to them. But they can only use it for humanitarian aid, building schools and hospitals and healthcare. And
which they didn't, but okay.
And so everyone on the left said, oh, well, that's it. They can only use it for that. But money is fungible because Iran had within their budget maybe $6 billion to already spend on schools and hospitals and healthcare. But now that they've got this additional $6 billion, they're going to use this $6 billion for schools and healthcare, and the money that they were going to spend on healthcare, they can use to buy weapons. So that's what I mean by saying it's fungible.
Got it.
You can say, I'm only giving you this loan, and you can only use it for a certain thing, but there's a ways around that so that it doesn't really matter what you use it for. And so why am I bringing this up? Because the $132,113 that he's alleged to have used of EIDL money for his campaign, had he paid himself that money as the proprietor of Tenaris Tires, that would have been legal. So had he paid himself,
he could have paid all of it.
Take the same money,
put it through payroll,
pay himself, and then take that money and loan it to his campaign or give it to his campaign, he wouldn't be under indictment today.
Not
he
only
wouldn't
that,
have a problem.
put it through payroll and pay taxes on it.
Well, that's it. That's why I said if you pay yourself, that it has to go through payroll. Mm-hmm. You either have to pay taxes or down the road you have to pay taxes on it, right? Maybe you file late or whatever. But had he done it the paper trail correctly, this wouldn't be an issue because pay yourself $132,000, right? And then immediately take that $132,000 and give it to your campaign. Yeah. And now you've done the same thing. You've taken the EIDL money and you've used it for your campaign, but you have to personally pay taxes on it. And now you don't have the Fed's not knocking your door down. Does that make sense to everybody at home?
Yes.
Yes, you in the yellow car? Okay, good. Everybody's with me. Another $85,000 toward personal federal tax liability. Again, if he paid himself the $85,000, he's going to have to pay a small amount of taxes on it.
I'm really surprised with this. You know, Tom, those were big transactions that were transferred according to the documents.
I know,
right? Like, did anyone tell him that that's not okay? You know what I mean? Like, let's say it's real. Like,
well, you have to wonder who his.
You transfer more than $10,000, the FBI
red
gets
flags
alerted.
go everywhere, right?
Yeah, there's alert. Like, I'm just surprised.
Well,
we should learn more about this.
It does raise the question: who was his accountant?
Yeah.
Who's the accountant or bookkeeper who allowed this? Who's the one who said, yes, you can do it this way? Or maybe they didn't. Maybe they said, hey, Brian, you can't do it this way, and Brian did it anyway. And maybe that's the case. We don't know because we don't have that information
the FBI
yet.
Knows, yeah.
Oh, the FBI knows it all. And here's the other thing. When the FBI knocks on your door and they seize your electronics, when they seize your phone, your computer, your laptop, your iPad, they always already know what's on it because they've already hacked into your emails, they've hacked into your text messages, they've hacked, into your voicemails, and they already know what's there. But in order to secure a warrant to arrest you, they have to physically have it in their hand, right? So the state police seized all of Brian's electronics about 3 months ago when the issue happened with William Castro. And if the state police are working in conjunction with the feds, which they usually do, then the feds already have those files. They already have all those electronic records, phone, computer, iPad. And now they physically have possession of it. Now they can come charge you. So This is approximately 1.1 million. Oh, I didn't do $883,293 to pay off 2 high-interest loans secured by real estate that he owned.
Okay.
So it really looks like Brian was very broke back in 20. By the way, this all goes back to 2021.
2020. That's when it started.
Well, charging documents I have seen.
Oh,
July
2021?
2021.
Okay. Well, that was pandemic time.
So the first one he got that he used legally was 2020. And then the 2 subsequent was July 2021. So it's approximately 1.1 million traced to those 3 categories alone. These are the allegations of the IRS criminal investigation in the affidavit for probable cause. The most explosive sequence in the affidavit is this, and you can kind of pull down a little bit. The first major EIDL increase was approved on July 2021 during DePena's first campaign for mayor. Before the additional money arrived, investigators say he texted his accountant and financial advisor, and here's what he said in Spanish. "Brother, call me. I'm in trouble. I don't want to pressure you, but I don't have time to wait for this loan. I'm in your hands." 3 days later, "Brother, I need your help with this loan. I've been trying to reach you all week and haven't been able to get it resolved. I know I'm bothering you a lot, but I have no other option. Only you can give me what I need." Now the affidavit says that those texts were originally written in Spanish and translated to English. Then on August 16, 2021, approximately $350,000 arrived in the Tenaris Tires account. Before that deposit, the account So before that deposit, the account that this money was transferred into had $20.23.
By the way, when you add up all of the other money that he used for campaign and taxes and mortgages, it actually equals to 1.1 million.
All right.
Put your phone down. Don't listen.
Well, it's Kristen. If it wasn't Kristen, I wouldn't
Kristen.
care.
Okay. I thought it was somebody else.
Right? So let's just pause this for 1 second and see what Kristen has to say, because she knows I'm on the air. So it must be very important.
Tom, keep going. There's a lot of people watching. Please.
I can't get through Do Not Disturb. We're in. All right. Okay. It's just a funny. 10 days later, DePena allegedly used $85,000 from that account to pay personal federal tax liabilities. I'm not too sure that charge sticks. Because if it's a personal federal tax liability, but it
that is connected to the business, maybe.
So yeah, so I guess if he transferred it direct without paying himself first or paying.
No, because when you get an EIDL loan, it's all about the business,
right?
To cover expenses for the business. So. And
then $90,000 traceable to the EIDL account subsequently went into his mayoral campaign. So that's another $90,000. Mm-hmm. So 90 plus 132. Now you're talking about 222,000 something dollars off the top of my head with my long time math. So you're talking about $220,000 to become mayor. That's a lot of money.
Yep.
And I hate to make this personal. I chased that fucking guy for 3 years for him to pay the ads that he bought in the Valley Patriot. For 3 years, I chased him. And he kept telling me that his campaign account was frozen. And I didn't believe him. I'd never heard. We know people who are elected officials who are literally laundering drug money through their campaign account, and the Secretary of State never froze their campaign account. So when he told me that, when he said, "Listen, I'd like to pay you, but my campaign account is frozen," I thought he was full of shit. I thought he was lying to me, because I have never heard that. And now it kind of turns out like maybe that was true. That once all of this took place.
That's when the investigation started.
That's when the investigation started, and they froze that account so that there isn't more money coming in. He's not paying back, and he's not trying to cover up what he did. Right? They want to freeze it so that doesn't happen. But I think now that we've looked at 90,000 plus 132,000 from EIDL into the campaign account, it then starts to look as though we might have a window into who one of the other co-conspirators might be, because candidates are not allowed to write checks. Candidates are not allowed to make deposits. You have a treasurer for that. Mm-hmm. So whoever his campaign treasurer was, I would say should probably be on a plane to Sweden right about now, right? I'm joking. I don't want. Please don't visit me at my house, IRS. But if you were the campaign manager or the campaign treasurer, at least on paper, you are responsible for that. You're responsible for the deposits. You're responsible for the checks that get written, the electronic transfers that take place. You are responsible. And the candidate is not responsible for doing that. In fact, the candidate doesn't have access. When I was a candidate, I had no access to my campaign account. And I would go to my campaign manager and say, I want you to write a check to WCCM. I'm going to run some radio ads. And they would say no, because we've already slated this money for this and this money for that and this money for campaign robocalls.
So some positions require a treasurer. Some don't, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Correct?
Yeah, for
mayor, you do.
For mayor,
School committee,
you
you don't. School committee, you don't even need to have an OCPF.
Yeah, no, well, maybe that's true now, but when I was on the school committee, you did.
Oh, you did? Okay.
All right, the campaign money trail. The affidavit does not merely say campaign money may have come from the federal loan. It gives dates, transfers, checks, and amount and account movements. Investigators allege that the DePena moved EIDL money from Tenaris Tires to a business account into one or more personal accounts. From those accounts into the campaign to elect Brian DePena. So this is interesting too, because had it gone from the Tenaris account to him personally, and then from him personally, well, I don't know. So it went from Tenaris Tires to the business account into one or more personal accounts. And from those accounts, so he didn't log in his payroll. So really, you're talking about a paperwork issue at this point, right? The alleged pre-election campaign transfers include. Oh, we got more money now, right? So we were at $222,000 approximately, and now we're going to add $20,000 deposited through two $10,000 checks, $25,000 through the treasurer's check, a treasurer's check. $10,000 through another treasurer's check, $25,000 through another check, and $10,000 from a later $22,000 personal account transfer. Several of the checks reportedly carried the notation loan, but I don't know. I think he might be able to escape at least one of these charges, because if they're saying that these spade of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's 50,000, 67. That's 80,000 more. So now we're at $300,000, right?
Is this correct?
Yep.
Okay. No. This is breaking down the transfers, correct?
Right.
So I wouldn't add it to, yeah.
But it says here, from Tenaris business account into one or more personal accounts. So it looks like he's paying himself,
Okay.
right? But if he didn't log it as a salary payment, if he just took the money,
yeah,
right, and he's not logging it as. See, at the Valley Patriot, I can write myself a check for my salary. I can do a transfer, right? But I have to immediately email Margaret, my bookkeeper, and say, I paid myself $300 this week. That's salary. Mm-hmm. Now, sometimes I reimburse myself $130 because I went up and I bought a lock for one of my street boxes. Mm-hmm. And I'll say that I'm reimbursing myself $130 for a lock. Here's the receipt. I went and bought a lock for but if I were to just transfer the money and I don't tell her that this is salary, when she's doing the year-end books, it's going to look like an expense without a receipt, not a salary, so I'm not paying taxes on it. When OCPF asked for the source of the money, DePena reportedly characterized them as candidate loans and funds needed for the committee to elect Brian DePena. All right. A second massive loan increase.
Next, we're ready? Okay.
Yep. We're down here. There you go.
It's in the back end, guys.
The affidavit states that on October 20, 2021, while the election was still underway, wow, this is like right in the middle of the election, right? So the primary's over. You're 2 weeks, not even 2 weeks before an election, because that election was November 3rd, I think, right? Mm-hmm. So you're talking 13, 14 days before the two full weeks before the election, he requested another EIDL modification. And on October 27th, it was the Small Business Association Administration, approved an additional $1.154 million. That raised the total for Tanaris Tires loan to $1.654 million. $400. DePena allegedly certified again that the money would be used solely as working capital to address COVID-related economic injury. So that's where the problem is, right? Yeah. That's where he gets. So I did 2 PP loans for the Valley Patriot, and I used it to pay my printer. I used it to pay my drivers. I used it to pay rent for the office. I could also use it to pay myself because I'm a salaried employee too, right? So I have to work. I have to get paid. So I paid myself, but I paid myself like $300 a week. I'm like, what do I spend money on? Food. Nothing, right? Food, right? But most of the time, other people are buying. When you see me like taking pictures of food on Facebook, usually the other person's picking up the tab because they're looking for a favor. Or I haven't seen them forever or whatever. But when I did my PPP loans, when I did my EIDL loans for the Valley Patriot, you have to sign on the pains and penalty of perjury that you're going to use this for working capital. So I also did a PayPal loan. And so I did the first PayPal loan for $5,000. I paid it all back, and then I went for another $5,000. But when I went for the other $5,000, I said I wanted to use it to pay off a tax debt. And they kicked it back and they rejected it. And so when I applied a third time and said, okay, this time I'll use it for working capital, they were like, no. You already said you wanted it for tax debt. And so now that you've said you wanted it for tax debt, we're not trusting you with $5,000 more. So the fact that he put on his EIDL applications, or his bookkeeper or accountant put on his EIDL papers, that it was only for working capital, is why he's been indicted. That's why he's been charged. That's why he's been arrested.
So it's nothing to do with the city?
So there's not a penny of this has to do with city money. We're going to get to Giovanni Rodriguez's ridiculous press release in a minute, where he said something about, this is going to affect Lawrence's bond rating. No, it won't. This has nothing to do with LRA properties. None of these has anything to do with city money. The structures of checks and balances in Lawrence City Hall are in place. There isn't even the capability for Brian to steal money. It's not like Brian could just write a check to himself and go to the Dominican and never come back. He doesn't have that ability because of the checks and balances in City Hall, contrary to what people are saying on Facebook even just this morning. The additional $1.154 million was deposited on November 30, 2021. Before it arrived, the business account reportedly contained $2,128. So imagine you're running for mayor of your city. You've got a very successful tire business.
This is a business account.
Yeah,
that they went into.
Yeah, but he
has different businesses.
But he's got a very successful business. You can't listen. I bring my tire to Tanaris Tire. When I need tires, I go to Tanaris.
But that's the thing. He used Tanaris, I think, the account for that, but he has other businesses. He has like a plaza.
Yeah, he owns like a bunch of properties too, right? So, but Tanaris Tires is a very lucrative business. It is.
He has 2 of them. One in South Lawrence too.
So in South Lawrence, where?
114, if I'm not mistaken. He has one there too.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
But going into this mayoral campaign, he's pretty much broke.
Yeah.
Right? And
his business account.
Right. Well, but how does he live? He lives on his business account, right? Like, how does he pay himself?
That's the Tanaris business account. We're not talking about rental income too.
But isn't it all that most? So maybe you're saying it's 2 different corporations, or maybe 3 different corporations.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I
right?
wouldn't
put an LLC for the business and an LLC for the.
Yeah, I wouldn't put my properties on the Tanaris Tire. You know what I mean? It doesn't. It's not the same type of business. It's different.
Right.
Right.
Okay. So more campaign payments after the election. Let's bounce down to that section.
Okay.
All right. By the way, I posted all of this within a couple of hours of posting the original story, while people were coming on my page going, "Oh, you haven't said anything about Brian DePena. You must be covering up for him." Yeah, I did all of this, by the way. Like, this is how I spent my day. I spent an entire day on this, going through all the charging documents and segregating this out. Investigators allege that another $42,112.96 traceable to EIDL funds went into DePena's campaign. Jesus Christ. And now we're up to we're almost up to $400,000 by my count. Okay. $10,000 by check donated, dated November 30 and deposited December 2. So now you're talking about after the election. So after the election, November 30, he wins, but he's not in office yet. Mm-hmm. Well, is that true? Did he take office right away because Kendris was an acting mayor?
No, so I think you take office in January, but he had already won the election.
Right, but Kendris was acting mayor because Dan Rivera left.
Yeah.
So when you have an acting mayor, when you elect a new mayor, I think they take office right away.
Oh, they do?
I think so. I think he took office like almost either the next day or within like 7 days. I think he took office. Somebody look that up for me because I'm curious. I'm remembering it that way, but I might be wrong. And $32,000 by check deposited January 11, 2022. So now he's mayor. Now he's in his first weeks as mayor. And he puts this additional money in his campaign accounts. Couldn't pay for his Valley Patriot account, though. I'm just saying. The affidavit adds that the campaign account had been overdrawn approximately 20 days before the December 2 deposit. Now, the real estate debt. Here's where we get into some really interesting stuff. Federal investigators allege that DePena used $883,293 traceable to EIDL funds to eliminate two high-interest loans secured by properties that he owned, $538,109.03 to pay off a balloon note. A balloon note is you get a loan at a low interest rate, but as the loan goes forward, the interest rate climbs.
It's not a fixed rate.
Right. So you might take a loan out at 8%, but within 2 years, that 8% is now 18%. Within 5 years, it might be 28%. And $345,184.13 to pay off another promissory note. The first loan originated in connection with DePena's approximately $700,000 purchase of 342 Broadway. Investigators say he borrowed $525,000 at 12%. With the debt originally due January 2021, the second debt was reportedly carrying 8% interest. According to the affidavit from the IRS, DePena had tried unsuccessfully to obtain conventional refinancing. His personal federal tax debt was allegedly one impediment to this taking place. And so what has he allegedly repaid? Wow.
So I believe the 342 Broadway is he has like a little plaza there.
Yeah, that's where that little
the old Dunkin' Donuts
donut shop, yeah.
Yeah, so he has
it's like Top Nut. It's not
it used to be
Top Donut or Frosty Donut.
Like that. There was like a laundromat there.
Yep.
It's called Donatis Plaza or something like that.
So as of August 5, 2026, the affidavit states DePena made only 16 payments. Those payments totaled approximately $130,160. Every dollar was applied to accrued interest. The outstanding principal remains approximately $1.654 million. So despite paying about $130,000, the affidavit alleges that the entire principal remains outstanding on the debt and was approximately $20 greater than the original authorizing loan account. So at the very least, we can say Brian DePena sucks at money. Okay? So I don't think that anybody can get mad at me for saying that. That Brian DePena is just not good with finances.
I think if, let's say, he would have put it through payroll and I had that much money and I had debt, the first thing I want to do is cover my debt and not use it for personal use. So at least he did that. So,
right.
I mean, if it's true.
Now, the Lawrence City... Now, hold on. We'll go back to my notes now. No, you can pull it down now. So what has happened since then? Well, since then, most of the people in Lawrence, at least the movers and shakers, the people who
take risks. Are you talking about those type of people?
I'm talking about the people who
community leaders, activists,
the people who are driving the agenda,
the people who work.
Right. The most of the people in Lawrence who don't have an axe to grind are circling the wagons and supporting the mayor, which I found a little weird. I found it odd that after something like this, most people in Lawrence culminated around Brian, and some very, very influential people in the community began to post on Facebook that they supported Brian regardless. And they were people like Johnny McKenzie. Holy crap, like I could just stop there. Johnny McKenzie is one of the most respected radio juggernauts in the Merrimack Valley when it comes to Spanish language radio. When I did my radio show on WCCM in 1999,
oh my God,
he was a legend then. And he would do his show.
He doesn't work for the radio. Like he's a contractor for them.
Yeah, but he would do his show. And I would do my show in one studio, and then there was a plate glass, and there was another studio next to me, and he would do his. So he's doing his show while I'm doing my show. And I would finish my show, and he'd finish at the same time. We'd come out, and we'd go downstairs for coffee. And I would tell people, hey, I was hanging out with Johnny McKenzie the other day. And their faces would, you know Johnny McKenzie? Do you really know him? What's he like? What did you talk about? What did he say? This was in 1999. Now it's 2026. It's 27 years ago.
He's respected.
This guy was huge back then. He's even more huge now. And by the way, one of the nicest people you'll ever met. So Johnny McKenzie comes out and he says, I stand with Brian DePena. Jorge Jaime, I stand with Brian DePena.
Not only that, they're saying like people make mistakes, like let's see what happens too. But they are gonna stand with him because I think it's because he's liked. I don't know. A lot of people like him.
I think it's because you're right.
He's done a lot for people too, though.
He's a genuinely nice person. Now, maybe that's all a facade. Maybe we're going to find out that this guy has had us all fooled.
Because even before he had a political position, he has done a lot for people. I mean,
listen, I
you
agree.
can hear stories
Yes.
like this guy will give money for people to pay their rent out of his pocket and not expect anything back. So
apparently doesn't have it to give and still doing it. So
yeah. I mean, he gave somebody $9,000 and never paid him back.
Yeah, that would have been who was that? Oh, Julissa Nunez. Yes,
Yeah, exactly.
That's why she hates
Oh,
him.
in 2021.
That's correct. In 2021.
Oh, interesting.
Isn't that interesting, right? So people commented around him. I did your show on Saturday, which is the day afterwards, and most of the calls that came in were pro Brian.
Yeah.
Afterwards, I got grabbed. We went to Terra Mar, Mexican Grill, which, by the way, free shout out to Terra Mar. Great Mexican food.
Good. Oh, my God. I had 3 margaritas.
I don't think they like me for some reason. I kept getting the side eye from the guy who owns the place. Maybe I'm just misinterpreting that.
That's the girl that when we first walked in, she was rude.
Yeah, but the food was excellent.
She must be a liberal.
Maybe she's having a bad day too. Like I never judge. I never judge people.
She was weird. I don't know.
I never judge people. But when we left, I got home and there was like 18 emails from people saying, can you get a message to Brian? I know you're friends with Brian. I just want to let him know that I stand with him. And one of them I think stood out, at least for me. And one of them, the person, I'm not going to say who it was, but one very well-known person said, I don't care if he's guilty. I don't care what he did. Brian's a good person. Everyone makes mistakes. Everyone screws up. I'm going to stand with him. I stand with him personally. I don't stand with him legally, basically, is what they were saying. And I kind of found that interesting because I think a lot of people cannot separate legal and personal. Most people can't separate what you did from who you are, right? And it always bothered me that when somebody did something bad or accused of doing something bad, that then becomes like the totality of who they are in people's minds. Oh, you're the guy that did that one thing, right? And so I thought it was kind of interesting that people, the next dynamic that started to happen was the people who hate Brian shrunk into the background.
Yeah, they didn't. A lot of people didn't.
There was no
comment
criticism
on it,
from. I would only wish to have incompetent enemies like Brian DePena has. Like, imagine being a guy who's the mayor of the city. You've got 4 or 5 people who hate you and not really a whole lot more. And they're so incompetent that they can't take advantage of you getting arrested and parlay that into destroying your political career.
We're not talking about the top 4 haters.
So many. Well, yeah, I mean, there's others, but they're not as, you get John D'Amico, but like 5 people listen to him, like maybe 3 people listen to him, right? But most of the detractors of the even the city council. So the city council meets this week. I'm going to jump around a little bit. So the city council meets this week. They met Tuesday, a couple of days ago. And first they wanted to go into executive session, which means secret session, so we can't hear what's going on.
Which I looked up the law. They didn't have a reason to do that.
Right. They had no legal reason
and
to
they had to give him a 48-hour written notice,
Right.
and he didn't receive that.
Right.
So
they decided they were going to do it in open session. And I'm sitting there throwing pieces of paper at the TV, yelling, why are you talking about this in the first place? Now, let's review. The Lawrence City Council is in charge of budgets and policy. Brian DePena is being accused of stealing federal money, not city money. Federal COVID relief money. It has nothing to do with city properties. It has nothing to do with the city budget. It has nothing to do with city policies. So why the fuck is it? Why does the Lawrence City Council have anything to say about it? Why did they waste 1 minute of our time to go around the table and tell us all what we already know? This is terrible. If this is true, innocent until proven guilty, this could be bad down the road. And not one of them said one thing that was generated news. Not one of them had one thing to say about anything that we didn't already know. And then Giovanni, and I'm gonna pull up some of this. Giovanni Rodriguez, the president of the city council, who was not there, but he did zoom in or called in, I guess, for lack of a better phrase. And is this it right here? Nope, no repetition. So they're going around the table, and
did they have people come up too, or no?
I missed public participation. I only caught Stephanie Infante reading a letter that was submitted calling for Brian to step down, right? So
by who?
I didn't recognize the name.
Okay.
Let me see. Okay, here it is. Giovanni Rodriguez. So prior to this meeting, one very prominent person did call for Brian's resignation. One very prominent person who I'm a little surprised. I wrote the story, I put it out there, and the Boston media ignored it, which is bizarre to me, because the most powerful person in the Merrimack Valley, bar none, there's nobody more powerful than this guy, called for Brian's resignation.
And a lot of people don't know him either.
Well, a lot of people don't know him,
but he has a lot of power here.
But the power brokers do, because he is the ultimate power broker in the Merrimack Valley. You really can't survive if you don't have this guy on your side. And I'm going to tell you who it is. Mike Gagliardi, president of Labor's Union Local 175, the man that I lovingly call the midget. So every time I call him the midget, she climbs under her desk because
I hate it.
Nancy hates it too.
It just makes him look like not important.
But he is. But that's what makes it funny, right? That's what makes it funny. He is literally the most influential person in the Merrimack Valley. Like, his endorsement alone pushed 2 state rep candidates over the line in the last election that had no fucking shot whatsoever. His endorsement pushed them over, and 2 city councilors in Methuen, his endorsement pushed them over when they had no shot. Can you come have
an interview here?
I would listen. That would be the funniest and most highly rated show we've ever done if I had him on here. Okay. That would be hilarious because he can't hold himself. Like, I can barely hold myself. Like, I can barely. He has no filter at all. Like, he is just it'll just be a Tommy gun. It will be a machine gun, like, right across the board. So Giovanni Rodriguez issues this press release last night. It's about 20 paragraphs long. And it basically says absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. Okay? It says, this is a very serious matter. No shit. No shit. Everyone's innocent till proven guilty. Yeah, no shit. But there is one little line in here. And believe me, it was 20 paragraphs of non sequiturs. It was 20 paragraphs of literally nothing. Except there was 2 things in there that I wanted to point out. And by the way, Giovanni, and I love this guy. I endorsed him in the last election, but shorter is always better because I wouldn't have 2 nuggets to talk about had you stopped at paragraph 5. Mm-hmm. The first thing that he said that was wrong was this could affect the city's bond rating. Absolutely untrue. There was no universe where Brian being in legal trouble hurts the city's financial bond rating. Okay. City's financial bond rating is basically based on how much money you take in from your property taxes and how much money you have in free cash. How much money do you have in reserve if something goes wrong? Those are the 2 primary.
Why did he put that there?
There's other things, but those are the 2 things.
Why did he put that there?
I don't know. And
he's being political. Because he's smart, so he knows.
And he also didn't call for his resignation. So you write this press release.
He didn't call it publicly, but basically naming those things. It seems that way, Tom.
Well, but there's a line here where he says, like, he hopes that the mayor is going to continue doing his job. So not only is he not calling for his resignation, in a backhanded way, he's saying he hopes he sticks around. But again, just come out and say it. Like, don't say it in a roundabout way. Don't go the back door.
Why are they so afraid to speak up and say what they feel or what they think?
Because they got to do this. They don't know which way the wind's going to blow. So if they take a chance and they say, I'm calling for his resignation.
That was an aggressive, like...
If they take a chance and they start calling for this, if Vivian Marmol tomorrow, which she's chomping at the bit to do, calls for Brian to resign, right? And then it dies down and the public ends up on his side, she's got to come up for re-election next year. right? So they're all cowards, all of them. I wish that, except for Mark LaPlante, I think Mark and Stephanie are the two counselors who have no skin in the game,
You're wrong.
who just want to sit back. No, I'm wrong?
Marcus, yeah, but you're wrong.
I'm wrong about Stephanie?
Yeah.
Really?
You are. Mm-hmm.
I don't know. She doesn't say that I'm like her father, so just gonna keep it there. The other thing that Giovanni said that I think needs to be highlighted is this little killer line here. Let me also be clear about what happens next. If Mayor DePena's conduct, whether in office or in connection with this case, compromises the operations, integrity, or financial stability or well-being of Lawrence, the city council will act. Oh, what are you going to do? Shake your finger at him and say, very, very bad. Bad mayor. Very, very bad. What? You have no say. You can't push him out of office. You can't vote him out as mayor. Only the voters can do that. What can you do? There's nothing you can do. The budget has already been passed. You can't cut the budget in his office. You can't cut the budget. You can't cut his expenses. He's working in an operating budget that you guys passed in June, right before July, or maybe shortly into July. Right on the June-July timeframe, you approved an operating budget for the city of Lawrence. You can't cut anything now. There's nothing you can do.
Can they make policies for like things? Or?
They can, but let's say they make a policy for what?
It doesn't apply to him, right?
That whatever policy they could make, the mayor has to sign it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So can they override his veto? Yeah, with 2/3 vote. You don't have 2/3 vote. Selena Reyes is not going to vote. Gregory Del Rosario is not going to vote. Anna Levy is not going to vote.
Rosalie.
And Rosalie Gonzalez is not going to vote. Who, by the way, let me just say this about Rosalie Gonzalez. I have not met her in person. I did not meet her through the entire campaign. I maybe said hi to her.
You did.
Yeah, but I said hi to her like...
Gregory's thing.
Yeah, but like I said hi to her, but I didn't like really meet her. I didn't get a chance to like get to know her. I didn't go for coffee with her. But I spent 3 hours on the phone with her last week on a different topic. And let me tell you how impressed I am with this young lady. She's brilliant. She's empathetic. She grasps very complicated issues. I thought a couple times I was going to have to go back and re-explain something. She went, no, I get it. And she repeated back to me what I thought I was going to have to re-explain. So you're right. Those four, you're not going to have 2/3. So what Giovanni, and I say this with love, what can you do? There's nothing you can do. This is just blustering.
Maybe he felt responsible, morally responsible to say something and make it look like...
This is the problem, right?
Both ways. He wants to stay warm. He doesn't want to go hot. He doesn't want to go cold.
And it's not just him. The entire council should have shut the fuck up. They should have... listen, Vivian Marmol, okay, and again, I know you think I'm picking on her, and I'm not. Vivian Marmol says to the media, you guys are always here when there's something negative, but you never hear when there's something positive. Well, maybe if you guys weren't talking about it, they would have nothing to report.
How convenient is it that Telemundo, Inglaterra, whatever it's called, the Spanish one, every time they come to Lawrence to do something about the mayor, is always like Sarah Perez interviewing.
Right. Because those are the only people that are brave enough to say anything.
No. Why is it that they interview her? Like, aren't they going around asking people like on the street?
Yeah, because nobody else has anything to say.
But why is it convenently that she's there? That's why I'm confused.
She's probably the one that calls them. She's probably the one that calls them. It's her and Wendy Luzon. That whole the four Musketeers.
Also, they don't do random interviews to real people.
No. We're talking about the media here. The media is more lazy than Congress.
I'd rather go around and see like what people are thinking.
No, that takes work.
It looks like that though.
Yeah, well, that's the way they portray it. Right? That's the way. It's like Howie Carr went on this big long thing about Brian, made fun of his accent, everything else. Never once did he go, aiding and abetting. I wonder who else could be involved. I wonder why no one else is talking about that. And I like Howie. We've had our issues over the years, and he's been good to me at times too. So it's not a personal thing. But none of these Boston stations, none of the Boston media, none of the Boston radio shows, none of the panel discussions that have gone on. There was a panel discussion Sunday morning on one of the Boston stations, might have been GBH, where they talked about this extensively. And never once did anybody say, well, aiding and abetting, that means he's not the principal target of this investigation. Maybe we should investigate who that is. Maybe we can speculate who that might be. Is it a state rep? Is it a city councilor? Is it a state senator? Is it a head of a corporation? Like, who is it? Right? What?
I'm scared. You have your gun with you?
I do.
Okay. Ay, Dios. Something happens to me, tell my kids.
As you guys
I
can
love
tell,
them.
we know a little bit more than we're talking about. But
Please tell my kids that I love them. Lacey, please.
But the thing is, it's irresponsible to say out loud what we know before. My job is not to.
I'm gonna lock the door.
My job is not to condemn people. My job, our job here at the don't stop it, is to tell you what's going on, right? And so, if the feds were to say, State Rep so and so, State Senator so and so, City Councilor so and so is now involved, then we'll come in and we'll tell you what we know. But there are things going on behind the scenes. We do know more. There is more to know. But sometimes, and
Don't say it, Tom. You're dying to say it. Just leave it go.
no, but sometimes, and this has happened so many times in my career doing media. Sometimes you know something behind the scenes. Excuse me. You know something that other people don't know connected to the story, and then you find out later on that you only had a small piece of it.
And
that what you thought that was the big piece, but that was only part of another piece that's even larger. So I don't want to get ahead of things. I don't want to get ahead of the news cycles. I don't want to. If I have something to break, if someone else wants to publicly say we know this guy's involved, I'll report it. But I'm not going to be the guy to say it, right? Because I have no physical proof of it. We know it. We know it, right?
But they have to give their name too.
Well, yeah, you have to go on the record. So I have a lot of people always call. At least 15 times a week, someone will reach out to me and say, hey, Tom, I have this story, and this is what's going on, but I can't go on the record. Will you report it? And so I ask two questions. Do you have documents, or do you have somebody willing to go on the record? Now, if the answer is no to both of those, I have no story. Because I'm not going to allege what you're telling me happened. I don't know that happened. I'm only going by what you're telling me has happened. Now, on this one, we know for sure who at least two of the other principals are. We know it. We know it. Can we prove it?
It's hard.
If I get dragged into court, I could probably prove it, but I don't want to go that route, right? I don't want to go to court. I don't need the aggravation.
You know, I have a friend who works for the FBI, right?
You have a friend that works for the FBI? I have like 50 friends that work for the FBI.
I have one that's really good.
We've got a couple of local law enforcement. Oh, he does, yeah? Doing cyber?
Oh, Tom!
Well, you did this.
I know, but I would have said it. Well, Jesus. Okay.
I thought we were doing charades. Two.
No, I'm typing. No, Lacey says, we know, ha ha ha, but not for us to say, ha 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 ha. Yeah, don't go there.
Listen, when people find out who the principal is that they're really going after, it's going to just blow everybody's mind. And I'm just going to say that if you ask me privately, I will tell you, but I'm not going to say it publicly because I don't need another. Listen, this is the longest time that the Valley Patriot has been without a lawsuit in the history of the Valley Patriot. Now we are 2 years without a lawsuit.
Weren't you getting sued for something? I forgot.
Well,
from Drake?
The guy from Drake. Well, he sent me a letter of intent, but he has not filed.
Okay.
So until they file, I'm going to say that this is the longest peacetime period for the Valley Patriot without a lawsuit. I'd like to keep it that way. Now, if it goes the other way, I'll fight it in court and we'll win again because I've never lost. But it is what it is, and. You know, with all the joking and all the surmising, and everybody wants to gossip, and everybody wants the dirt that
they
nobody
really
else
want
knows.
This guy to do bad for himself. Why is it? Why? Like, why? And I mean, he killed somebody. I get it, but if it's something like this, if it is true, he was paying it back. At least, I'm not saying it's correct. People hear what I'm saying. He was paying it back. He had to pay it all back. Correct?
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm going to say one other thing, and I know it's going to piss everybody off. Because you should see the hate mail that I got when I said it on your show. I had no idea how many people
were waiting.
You have a lot of people listening to your show, probably more than I have. You don't think so?
I don't know because we can't really measure it anymore. You have to pay like $40,000.
I got a lot of responses from being on your show. I was on from like 11 in the morning to 1 in the afternoon. Is that when we did it?
Yes.
And I only got to speak. There were 4 people in the podcast studio, so I only got to speak like 1/4 of the time, right? Maybe a little bit less, and. I got inundated with emails over the next few days. And one of the things that I said on the show that really seemed to make people irate is that one of the things, if not the main thing, that put this in the works was Roy Vask, the former chief of Lawrence, who, when he left, made some overtures that Brian was going to regret pushing him out. First, Brian tried to fire him. And not because Roy was doing a bad job, although I have issues with some of the things that he did. but he was a good chief. Overall, he was a good chief. Didn't like the flock cameras. Didn't like some of the other.
Oh, really?
Wow. He brought the flock cameras in. He made the scanner, encrypted the scanner. Like totally went dark.
And Roy had like credentials to be chief, right?
100%. He absolutely was qualified to be chief. In fact, probably one of the more qualified people to be chief that we've had as chiefs. So I obviously had some very serious issues with some of the things he did as chief. But Brian first tried to fire him, and then couldn't fire him because he realized he was going to have to pay out his contract. So they renegotiated, and Roy took a buyout. And
how much
during that? Oh, it was a lot. It was like
4 million.
I don't think it was that much, but it was probably half. It was probably half. It was probably 2.5
Somebody's asking for that too.
million. We could find out, right?
Okay.
If you Google it, it should come up.
All right, let me see.
But Roy made some overtures during that period when Brian was screwing with him that, when you're in law enforcement and you're a chief and you're that high up, you work very closely with state and federal authorities on a regular basis. You get a lot of friends. Maybe you have people in your department that end up leaving and becoming a Fed. Maybe you have people that leave and go to Methuen and then become a Fed. So you're very well connected through the state and federal government law enforcement. And he made some overtures then. I think he said a couple things publicly, but I know I heard him say some things privately that this was going to be basically his Waterloo. This was going to be the end of Brian DePena, that there were things in his background and they were now going to come out. And, it's been maybe 4 years, 5 years. We know that it takes about 4 or 5 years for, go ahead.
I have the amount, 784,486.
Oh, so not even $1 million?
Mm-mm.
Is that what he got, or is that after taxes?
The
net or
lump
gross?
sum figured reportedly by local media outlets. It was 700. It doesn't say whether it was.
And they complained. And they complained about Joe Solomon. Just saying, they complained about Joe Solomon. $700,000.
Okay, the total amount included about $300,000 for unused sick and vacation time accumulated over his 30+ years of service, and he retired on June 30th, 2023.
So he should have bought a full-page ad in the Valley Patriot, thanking everybody for being good to him while he was chief. That's all I can say. You got to get that kind of money. Throw me $1,500. Help to keep the Valley Patriot going. You've always got to think to yourself, how can this benefit Tom?
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
Whenever you're involved in something, you always have to ask that question. That's the go-to question. So the calls now for Brian to resign will either get slowly louder or they will die out completely. I tend to think that they're going to die out completely. However, two things have happened that put that in jeopardy. One, Fox News has now picked up on it, and the national conservative media, the Ben Shapiro's and them, are now seizing on this and using this as a cudgel against the Democrat Party.
Yeah, that's what they say. All the comments say he must be a Democrat.
Right, yeah. And they're also seizing on the fact that he, quote, can't speak English, which that idiot fucking lawyer that Brian had who said, well, he can't speak English. Thanks for throwing fuel on the fire. That does not help because he does speak English. I've interviewed him it's on YouTube. Google it.
Strategy, Tom.
Right?
Strategy.
But you can't lie. Don't lie. If you're going to do strategy, you don't lie.
Lawyers lie.
I know, but that's
for strategy to get their case.
That's the problem, though.
Why?
Listen, stop lying, everybody.
What if he was going this way? He didn't know what he was signing. He didn't know what he was doing. You never know, Tom. Strategy.
The problem with everything in the world right now is that everybody's fucking lying about everything. Willie Nelson's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Okay? Willie Nelson's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. You think this is totally unconnected to what I'm talking about? It's not. It's a lie. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame isn't the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It's a lie. It's the Music Hall of Fame. Reba McEntire, who's a blues singer, is in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
The Iowa superintendent lied about everything.
He was an illegal alien, right? There's no such thing.
He didn't have a college degree.
The border is secure. Joe Biden's as sharp as he's ever been. There's no such thing as voter fraud. Everything's a fucking lie. And all I want, I'm the one guy out here saying, can we please just tell the truth? And by the way, if you tell the truth, it's always better for you later on. Always better for you later on. And so now, because this apostle guy said out loud, God help us, he can't speak English, which feeds into the bogus story that ran 6 months ago about Brian not being able to speak English that ran, remember? Ben Shapiro and
victimizing him.
And right. So now the conservative media, and here's the really bizarre part of all of that. Brian's a Trump supporter.
Oh, Tom.
But it's true. Listen, let's stop hiding it. Brian's a Trump supporter. Brian said live on my interview when I did with him, and you can find it. I'll post it on my Facebook page before the end of the show. He said, and I quote, because we talked about it. We came and we played it on the show. You were there. He said, I cheer when ICE comes to Lawrence and deports criminals. I literally cheer. I love it when they're getting rid of the criminals. It makes my city safer. And yet the conservative media is so fucking stupid. They're so dumb. They're just as dumb as liberal media. They really are. They just knee-jerk react to everything that happens, and they don't even take 1 second to Google the guy they're talking about to see if what they're saying is actually true. And by the way, what makes conservative media more stupid than liberal media, because it should just be media. It shouldn't be conservative or liberal media. But conservative media every single day tells you the media is lying, the media is lying, the media is lying. They lie about everything. They're lying. And then the next day they react to what the media says as if it's fucking gospel. And so it's infuriating because it means they don't really believe anything that they say. They're just saying it for clicks and likes. They're saying it to sell advertising. They're saying it to get more popular. And so you got Ben Shapiro, who I respect tremendously, Ben Shapiro. But if you come out, Ben Shapiro, and you spend every waking moment of every day talking about how the mainstream media lies about everything, and then you do a show reacting to what the mainstream media said without looking into it to see if it was true, then you're the idiot. You're the problem. You've become the problem that you're pointing at.
He has a team that does stuff for him, but like you said, it is true. They wanted to use this to go against the Democrats.
Well, right. And by the way, I mean, it's awfully tempting, right? You use it against Maura Healey. Maybe you can stop Maura Healey from getting reelected.
I have a really good picture.
Yeah, I have some pictures too.
I have a really good picture of something.
Brian should be thanking his lucky stars that as fucking pissed off as I am at him for betraying me and my family.
Stop.
I'm just saying. He should thank his lucky stars that after betraying me and my family, that when he got arrested, I didn't pour fuel on the fire. That I didn't do what everybody expected me to do.
Yeah.
And
I thought you were going to do that.
And that's because there's Tom Duggan's reputation, which is not real, and there's Tom Duggan the person. And Tom Duggan the person would never use a personal issue against someone. Now, are there times that I come in and I weave them together? Because what I know about this person because of my personal situation then kind of proves the point that something else is going on? Yes, that's true. But that's never the motivation. Listen, I could have very easily been what everyone says I am. I could have come in today and called for Brian's resignation. I could have spent the last week on the phone calling every person on the fence and convince them to call for Brian's resignation. I could have been on the phone with Stephanie Infante and Gregory Del Rosario and all these guys, Mark LaPlante, and saying, what is wrong with you guys? I'm going to put it at your feet that you're not calling for his resignation. I never did that. I never did that because it's the wrong thing to do, number one. And number two, I'm still pissed off at Brian for what he did to me. Extremely, I can't tell you. I really wanted to come in today if Diana wasn't here, and I wanted to talk about what he did. And then he got arrested, and then Diana was supposed to be here, and now we have to talk about this. And maybe on a subsequent show I will talk about that. But I really wanted to come in, Tom the person wanted to come in and tell you guys what absolute scummy thing he did to my family. Just disgusting what he did. There's no excuse for it.
The day before, right?
It was literally the day before. It was.
You think he knew?
It was 12 o'clock noon the day before.
You think he knew that was coming?
No, because I sent him a text and I said, I'm done with you. I sent a text to Octavian and said, I'm done with you. I said, I'm going to call all my law enforcement friends and I'm going to.
There's some people that knew the day before. It was live. It was on a website. You could look at it. It was already there.
Really?
It was, yeah.
They didn't backdate it?
No, they, what is it? They submitted everything to the courts the day before.
Oh, you're saying that they've released that now that he's been arrested, they released that
No, when people will look up the indictment, all of that, whatever, not indictment, charge or whatever, it was already in the system by Thursday, like the day before.
Okay. All right.
But you have every right to feel the way you do.
I'm furious
because you don't know what happened. You don't know
furious.
what, it was whatever. But
Oh, I know what happened. I'm going to tell you what happened. Mike Gagliardi called me a week earlier and said, Brian's fucking you. And I said, there's no way he's doing that. There's no possible way. He said, here's what's going to happen. He's going to tell you to go get the votes on the city council. And if you get the votes on the city council, he'll submit it to the city council. I'm not going to say what the issue is. We'll talk about it on a different day, but it doesn't matter. So
and
I
you
want
also don't have control of the city council.
Right. So I called all the city councilors and I garnered 7 fucking votes. 7 votes. Right. So Mike Gagliardi calls me back. He goes, think you get the votes? I said, yeah. He goes, okay, how many votes do you have? I said, 7. He goes, here's how it's going to play out. If you call Brian and you say you don't have the votes, he's going to send it to the city council so they can vote no, and he's not the bad guy. If you do have the votes, he's going to mysteriously miss the filing deadline, and it's not going to go down to the council by noon on Thursday. And then he's going to say, but don't worry, we can do a late submission, knowing that Giovanni's voting no, and Giovanni has to approve a late submission. So I didn't believe the midget. I did not believe him. I said, there's no way. Brian's my friend. There's no way that if that were to happen, it would happen by happenstance, not by plan. And now that you're telling me in advance it's going to happen, I can't wait until Thursday comes when he submits this to the city council and it goes down and this issue is now going to be before the city council, right? And so at 11:30 Thursday morning, I called the mayor's office, spoke to 3 different people. The mayor's literally, Tom, the mayor's literally sitting at his desk working on it right now. The submission will be by the deadline at noon. It'll go down to the council before noon. You've got it. You're all set. Okay. And now I hang up the phone and it's nagging at me what Gagliardi said. So I at 10 minutes of 12, texted someone in the mayor's office and said, hey, where do we stand? Did you send that letter down? Did you send the email to the city clerk to put this on the agenda? And the answer that I got was, no, Brian doesn't want to do it because he doesn't think that you have the votes and you're not going to, he doesn't have the time left to write it up. It's going to go in late if it goes in. But don't worry, we can do a late filing. And that's when I lost my shit because it was exactly word for word what Mike Gagliardi told me was going to happen before. Exactly word for word. So I sent a text to all of them and said, I'm calling all my law enforcement friends and I'm telling them I'm not protecting you anymore and I'm done with all of you people. This has to do with my family. This is not a political issue. You gave me your word. You looked me in the eye. You put your arm around me. You said you were going to take care of this and now you're not. And I don't know who got to you. I don't know what the issue is, but I'm done with all of you. Now, I am not going to take credit for what happened on because I don't have enough friends high enough up to make something like that happen. But it is weird that the next day, while I'm still very much angry, very angry, you call me at 6 o'clock in the morning to tell me I'm texting everyone I know to find out if it's actually true. Yeah. And when I find out that it is true, I was kind of happy about it. I'm going to be honest with you. On a personal level, I kind of felt like, oh, good, this is karma. Like less than 24 hours later, he screwed my family, and now
that's why I think I think he knew something was happening. He must have been nervous.
I don't know, but I'm bringing all this up because people are always trying to impugn my motives. You're only saying this because, everything's personal.
No. I'm just saying that you were saying that this is what happened because the midget, and I'm sorry, I apologize for calling you that, said that was going to happen. But then you got to see the other way around, like what really happened. You don't know what happened. You're not 100% sure.
I know this.
I know, but you can't jump to conclusions. You know what I mean? Like you got to find out. Like talk to whoever you need to talk to him. Call him and ask him what happened.
I know I was promised something. I know that I asked because
Okay, but if it were you the day before, you find out something like that they're gonna come get you.
That would be all the more reason why I would push it forward.
I'd be like,
that would be all the more reason to push it forward.
No, the last thing you want to do,
get it in now before I go to jail.
The last thing I want to do is have something in the works while this is going on. That would have been on everywhere. That would have been on the media too.
I don't know. I'm done making excuses for this guy.
No, I know, but I'm just saying. I always like to give people the benefit of the doubt, and I always think that there's different stories too. And
despite all of that, and the reason I'm telling you all that is because I'm tired of people impugning my motives, that I only do things for personal. I actually went out of my way to go the other way to defend Brian as far as everyone's innocent until proven guilty. Let's just talk about the facts. Let's not muddy the waters with all these other ridiculous allegations. Let's clarify the record from people who are saying that this is city money because it's not. Let's clarify the record. People are saying that it had to do with LRA properties, and it does not. And let's just talk about the actual facts. Let's just dial it down a little bit. Remove the emotion, as hard as that is for me, because I'm really mad. Let's remove the emotion and let's just talk about what's real. And I think if more people did that and stop fucking lying about everything, lawyers, politicians, media people, can we just stop lying about everything, right? Willie Nelson's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I'm going to just keep saying it. Because ever since the day I heard it, it broke my brain, right? I think that was like 5 years ago when they did that.
So there's not a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Really? I always thought they were.
Well, yeah, they call it the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. But it's obviously not rock and roll. There's nothing rock and roll about Willie Nelson or Reba McEntire. Right? Or the Spinners. The Spinners, there's nothing rock and roll about the Spinners, right? And I use it as an example that everything is fake today. Everything. Everything's a lie. Everything's fake. It's so infuriating. For people who, and there's a lot more people out there like me than you would think, who just want the truth. We're all grown-ups. We can fucking handle it. We can. Just tell us the truth. Just tell us what's real. Tell us what's really going on. Let us decide. Don't candy coat it for us. Don't make it sound worse than it is to get our attention. Just tell us what's real.
You're right about
That's
that.
all I'm asking. Stop saying Brian doesn't speak English. He doesn't speak English. He does. Stop saying he stole city money. He didn't. And it pains me to have to say all of that because I'm really furious at the guy. But I am also trying to put all of that aside and do my job. And I just wish, just once in a while, other people would do the same. I just wish. We'll wrap up with this. I just wish that at the end of the day, people would just stop lying, stop deceiving. And when you lie by omission, you're still lying. If you tell somebody half the truth so that they will think one thing is true, and you leave out the other part of it that then shows them that it's not true, you're fucking lying. Okay? So, can we just do that? Can we just do that? Yeah. And the one thing I'll say about Brian through all of this, he didn't lie. He could have held a press conference and said none of this is true. If this was Willie Lantigua, if this was Dan Rivera, if this was Kevin Sullivan, if it was Mary Claire Kennedy, if it was Billy Manzi, Sharon Pollard, Neil Perry, they would have all held a press conference outside City Hall with all of their supporters, and they would have said, even if there's videotaped evidence that they did they would all come out and say, this isn't true.
The last thing you want to do is defend yourself over any charges.
Brian didn't do that. Brian did not lie. He did not issue a press release. He didn't have a press conference. He didn't go on Spanish language radio and say, I'm innocent of all this.
He went to church right after.
He went to church and he prayed. And he streamed it live, which I still don't get. But
every Saturday he streams.
I know, but I still don't get that. Like, why are you streaming?
Every Saturday he streams.
Streaming church live. It's kind of. But maybe that's part of the,
This is who he is. He turns his life around. I don't know. But you're right about the rock and roll thing. It's not actual rock and roll.
Well, yeah, look at the people that are in it. Like, it's ridiculous.
Jimi Hendrix, Nirvana,
Jimmy, yeah.
The Sound Lab, iconic architecture. I don't know who these people are,
right.
But they also have like movies and video games.
Yeah, like come on, like just come on, like everything's fake. Everything, the board is
maybe
secure.
It's a category or a segment or something that's
just
rock and roll.
Listen, just stop lying and call it the Music Hall of Fame. Call it the Entertainment Hall of Fame. But I'm sure at one point it started as the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. But then, like everything else, you change the requirements because you have DEI. We have to let this person in and that person in, and oh, this person was so good when they sang blues, and Muddy Waters is in the Rock and Roll. Give me a break. Muddy Waters is one of the greatest blues players ever, but there's nothing rock and roll about him. And this all has to do with what we're talking about. You think that it's disconnected, but it's not. It's all the same thing. It's all the same animal. You go on TV and they tell you something, and it's a total lie, or it's half truth, so that you'll believe something, and then later on they use it as deniability and go, well, I didn't actually say that. I just led you to believe that. What was the last time I saw that was the 30-something former intelligence agents that said that the Hunter Biden laptop issue looked like Russian disinformation. Remember that story? Mm-hmm. That it looked like Russian disinformation. And every news media reported it as though it was Russian disinformation. And then Donald Trump gets elected a second time. More documents get released. And lo and behold, there was never any evidence that it looked like Russian disinformation. And so now these people are on CNN getting questioned, and the host says, "Well, you said it was Russian disinformation." No. I said it looked like Russian. I just said it looked like. Well, that's a fucking lie.
Can we talk about some news really quick?
Go right ahead.
So, the state of Massachusetts is looking at signing a new law. So let me explain it. I have it here. The proposed legislation known as Senate Bill S.2134,
So
whatever that means.
You know, Pavel's got his hands all over that.
An act promoting the civil rights and inclusion of American Muslims in the Commonwealth.
Oh, yeah, we got to do a whole show on this.
Officially stalled and did not pass.
Oh, it didn't pass?
Yeah, so it's stalled.
Excellent.
Hold on.
Excellent.
I don't know what that means, stalled. The state's formal legislative session concluded without the bill advancing to the Senate floor for a vote.
Excellent.
So they might bring it up again.
So, and we're going to leave with this because it's 4 o'clock. Although we did start half an hour late, so we're still within our time frame. So what the Senate tried to do, what the House tried to do, is they tried to pass this bill that would give Muslims special category to get state jobs, municipal jobs, loans. They created
basically like a
special commission so that they could stop Islamophobia.
Can I tell you something though?
Yeah.
Doesn't the Constitution already give everybody freedoms like that? Mm-hmm. They also did it, there's already commission for the following groups: Asian American, Pacific Islanders, which is the AAPI, the Commission for on the Status of Women, Commission for Indian Affairs, meaning Native Americans, the LGBTQ Agent Commission. I don't know what that means.
Say it right. The LGBTQIA plus division sign /
It has an LGBTQ.
She walked right over my joke. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay. The LGBTQ Agent Commission, I don't know what that means. The Black and Latino Legislative Caucus panels.
Latinos. How about we get rid of all of these ethnic bullshit things and just treat everyone the same? Just treat everyone equally.
I don't think that's inclusive.
Just treat
that's
everyone
not inclusion.
equally.
Where's your group?
Yeah, where's the Jewish group?
No, the Caucasian group.
I thought you were going to say the bald group.
No.
The bald group, the Jewish group, the angry fat old man group.
Big feet women group. I want one of those. I have big feet.
The chubby chaser group.
Yeah.
I'm taking a lot of crap for that post. Did you see that post?
I did see it.
I posted this really big woman with really big chest, and the headline at the top said, "Would you buy this woman a drink?" And I was like, "Yeah," and I would do it again. Absolutely, and I'd do it again.
You love to get in trouble. Hi, Jack, Roy, Ken Willette, Lenin Lorenzo Roa, Scott Punk, Ronnie Heisler.
Boy, there's a guy, Lennon Roa. There's a guy who's kind of come full circle, hasn't he? Remember when he used to defend Debo and Kelly? Remember?
I don't know if he doesn't anymore.
Yeah, no, he doesn't anymore because he's smartened up. He's smartened up. A lot of people got fooled by them, and they would publicly defend them and then privately defend them even more. And I kept warning them, right, intern girl, from the very time I went on your first podcast.
Yeah.
I warned people, these people are grifters, they're scam artists, they're fraudsters, and the more you defend them, the more it's going to come back on you down the road. And I remember Lennon called me one day. He was really mad about something that I posted or something.
Me too.
And he was very upset about it. And I just kept saying, listen, I like you. I'm saying this as a friend. Just wait. Because with me, you never have to wonder if I'm right or wrong. Just sit back and wait because time is going to prove me right. And time proved me right.
Yeah, so Luis Robles is
Luis
here.
Robles.
I want to thank Luis Robles, Fryland Angelina, and my friend Brutal, who have given me really good advice. They told me to stop holding grudges, right? Because I am really good at that.
Yes, you are.
I am fucking good at that. Like,
yes,
you do something to me, I'll never talk to you again. I'm so good at that. So I just want to turn the page with Lenin Roa, who is a hero, right? Isn't he a veteran?
He's a veteran for sure.
Yeah, let's turn the page. I mean, it's 20, let's have
a
better life. Thank you, Louis, for that.
When I bring stuff up like that, it's not because a lot of times people misinterpret it. It's not that I'm trying to rehash it. It's not that I'm holding on to it. It's not that I'm holding a grudge. I bring it up because if people understand what our conflicts are in our personal lives and what's going on, and then they see that we can still come together and we can still compliment each other when we're right, that we can still work together on things, then that's what grown-ups in the community are supposed to do. And so Lennon and I at one point were very close as far as, like, I think I supported him when he ran the time before that for school committee, and I've always really liked him. And then I got very disappointed that he got sucked in by Debo and Kelly. But then he came around. Like, eventually, I think at this point it's kind of hard not to come around because everything that I said was proven by a Supreme Court right? So it's not like it's not denied. It's not like something you can change the conversation about. Literally the state Supreme Court of New Hampshire vindicated me and said she was basically full of shit. So. There's no way around that, right? But I'm not saying for him. I'm saying for everybody.
Yeah.
And whether it's Debo and Kelly, whether it's Brian, it's,
you're really good at forgiving.
Because
you forgive really fast.
Because I don't generally don't take things personal, even when people do it personally. When people attack me personally, I generally don't take it personal because I know I've been around long enough to know that if you just wait long enough, they're going to... Let me give you the example, and then I'm going to go. When I was on the Lawrence School Committee, there was a guy that campaigned for me that thought I was the greatest thing since sliced bread. He was calling the hotline program on WCCM every day. You got to vote for Duggan. He's the greatest guy in the world. Then at my very first meeting, I voted for something that he didn't like. And the next day, my very first meeting, the next day, he's on hotline eviscerating me. I regret telling everybody to vote for this guy. Don't ever vote for him again. He sucks. He's terrible. He's a worm. He's a jerk. He's terrible. And then it became a daily onslaught from this guy. Every day on the radio, it didn't matter what they were talking about. They could be talking about the color of the drapes in the White House, and he would call in and find a way to make it about me because he was so pissed off about the vote that I took. 6 months later, unbeknownst to me, his daughter was up for assistant principal, and the superintendent was screwing her and wanted another woman that he knew personally, and I went to bat for her. And because I went to bat for her, she had the votes to become assistant principal. I was the deciding vote. And then the next day, this guy calls in WCCM. I want to take back everything bad that I ever said about Tom Duggan. Now, why am I telling you that story? Because people loving you or hating you, people agreeing with you or disagreeing with you.
It changes?
It's so fleeting. It's so liquid. In the old days, you do something wrong, and that became your identity, and then nobody could ever get around that. And now they love you today, they hate you tomorrow, they love you again the next day, and then the day after that, they hate you again.
That makes sense.
And so I learned a long time ago when someone comes at me personally, yes, I always come down with them with a sledgehammer. Yes, I always come back tough because I have to. But I don't take it personal because I know that 6 months later, that person's going to be my best friend. Because I did something else that they liked, and they saw me in a different light, and now suddenly I'm a great guy to them.
Just stay like true to yourself, I guess.
Yeah, so just
regardless of what people think.
100%.
You know,
100%. All right, so
people.
I had a bunch of other things that I was going to get to today, but this is really
good.
This was a really good show, I think.
Was.
Although sometimes I think the greatest shows
the numbers are going to be good today.
Turn to be bad. For Brian DePena,
I love my nails.
Oh yeah, Lucky Nails on
Main Street, North End. I gotta find them.
For Brian DePena, I have not had a chance. It's odd that he called you and he didn't call me. I'm still pissed off about that too. That he called.
He's
you.
like scared of you or something.
Well, he should be, and that's all the more reason why he should call me.
And he knows that I'm a softie, so I'm gonna be like, oh, okay, I'll talk to you.
All the more reason he should be reaching out to me and apologizing. And
no, not a softie like that, but he knows that like. I'm like a caring person, even though I sell myself to be a piece of shit, like an asshole. I really am a nice person.
Yeah, I don't know about
and
that.
I give people the benefit of the doubt. I am a nice person.
I don't know
Tom.
about that.
I do. I give people the benefit of the doubt.
All right.
I've never said anything negative about anybody.
How many times do you yell at me on this show because I'm being too nice?
No, you're being too nice because you're not. No, when it comes to business, business is business. You're too nice with the business. You give people too many free shit.
I give a lot of free stuff.
That's what I'm talking about. When it comes to business, you can separate the two, business and personal. Isn't that what we're talking about today?
Yep.
But I do give people the benefit of the doubt, and I do feel bad for people. I don't want bad things to happen to people. And if I ever said anything negative about someone, it's because they started with me.
Right.
And I'm gonna end it.
Right.
Thank
100%. So as we get ready to do our sponsors and roll up the show, I want to say this to Brian DePena and about Brian DePena. I think genuinely he's a nice person. I think genuinely he cares about the community. I think generally he is trying to do the right thing for the city. You cannot deny the improvements he's made. Okay. You look at the streets, the parks, the schools, the new police station, all the things that are going on in the city. You cannot deny that he has done a great job as mayor. Now, you could not like him because he didn't hire you, or you could not like him because he didn't,
because you got a restraining order on you, because
make a criminal charge go away. But overall, it's very hard to find people who do not like Brian. Forget the politics.
It's Facebook. It's on Facebook. Like it's the Facebook. But you see people outside. They're like,
and so I will say this to Brian. Brian, if you think for 1 minute that this is going to hinder your job as mayor, you should step aside for the betterment of the city. If, however, you believe that it's going to take them 3 more years to go to trial and that you can just continue being mayor and it's not going to affect your job, then you should stay there and you should shove it up everybody's ass and tell them to go fuck themselves. Yeah. And so I don't know what's going on in his head because he, again, hasn't called me, and that pisses me off even more. But
I don't think he can call you. I don't think he should.
Well,
he didn't call me to talk about stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
they're listening to everything.
Whatever. I'm just saying. I don't know what's in his head. But if you think that this is something that you can continue doing the job without it interfering, then that's fine. If not, then if you love the city as much as you say you love the city, then you should step by. And so I know that's not a very courageous position to take, but it's not really my place to make that to take that position, right? Now, when the Valley Patriot comes out, September 7th or 8th, maybe there'll be a
September 1st, the first Tuesday, no?
No, well, September 1st, election day, so we couldn't do it that day anyway.
Okay.
Right? So it would be September 8th will be the next Valley Patriot. So now...
I think the first will be great because you can make predictions and people will get
because if the paper comes out, it takes 4 days to get them delivered.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Right? Because we're a monthly paper, so we publish like 25,000 papers, so it takes a while to get them all out.
Thank you, Scott Punk. Jack Roy.
Anyways.
He's asking if you're going to go out to eat Porky after.
I don't know. Are we going to go out to eat afterwards, or am I just going to go to bed?
I can.
You
I
can?
have the kids, yeah.
All right. When do you want to go?
Salvatore's.
Yeah?
Yeah, of course.
All right, okay.
That's my favorite. All
right.
Love the steak tips there.
I still haven't been over to Michael's.
Let's go to
Bistro.
Michael's then.
I just don't know if there's going to be any parking.
You can park wherever you want. You have a freaking...
Yeah, I know, but if there's no space, if there's no space,
I'm a really good... I can park, Tom.
All right, we'll figure it out. All right, let's roll up. Mel.
If anybody want to join us,
I do feel bad for Brian. I certainly feel bad for his family, and I hope that there isn't more coming. I'm told that there is. I actually kind of believe that there is. And just remember this. If you don't remember anything from what we said today, just remember this. He was only charged with aiding and abetting. He is not the principal target of this investigation. Someone else, higher up the food chain, is the principal target of this administration. And maybe other people as well. I'm almost convinced that there's at least 2 or 3 other people that are going to be in much more trouble than Brian.
And one of those people is going to be someone nobody even knows.
Well, you're right. There's one person that nobody knows who they are because of the position that they had.
I don't think they have social media.
But one of them, everybody knows. And so
Tom is dying to say it, guys. Let me put the music on because I can. I'm scared.
All right. We're a little discombobulated because I intended to have Diana DiZoglio, our state auditor, here today.
We did a great show.
I thought so. We'll find out when we go off and we look at the numbers. All right, so Ted Semesny for state senate. Just remind me to fix that La Rose Blue thing over here. La Rose Blue on Pelham Street in Methuen. It's a dental office. Century 21 McLennan Real Estate. Brando's, Billy from Brando's. Haverhill and North Andover, Brando's Cutlets. Town Roofing, Chachi's Junk Removal. Ken Willett for state representative. You want to write him in on the Republican ticket on September 1st. Boston Medical Center, Cedarview Homes. The Zany Pesh Law Office over there. On the Go Notary, Marsan & Son Construction. EIS, Investigation and Gun Training, Tomo and Shaken Seafood, Veteran Pathways, formerly Clear Path for Veterans New England, AFC Urgent Care, Pleasant Valley Landscaping Contractors with the intern girl Cam, Prime Insurance, the Doug Mercurio Law Office, and a free shout out to Paul Lambert at Lambert and Randone and JG's Ice Cream. Very interesting show today. Next week we have Elizabeth Dion,
Thank you,
candidate
Tom.
for state treasurer.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you. Oh, Melvin Taylor says you got to go home, so go home already.